Greetings to all you fantastic fours who join us for our lessons. Shout out to Emma from Grenendal Primary in grade 4. I know she joins us for our lessons. It's good to have you along. Let's jump across onto the maths for today. Our normal reminders at the start of the lesson. If you want to get hold of me, I'm Mr. Travis or Mr. T. You can email me grade4@worksheetcloud.com. And if you want to practice the maths, which you really should, because that's what the point of this, that's how we learn maths. You need to click on the link above the video afterwards just to practice what it is that we've done. Our next page is the mental arithmetic for the day, that sort of practice that gets our brains ticking over, that helps us to learn the facts that speed the maths up. I've got subtraction today and crossing particularly a boundary just to see that you are able to do that. So 40 seconds, 10 questions, the best you can, just the answer, and your time starts now. Time's up. So I hope you can see what I meant by crossing a barrier. So in each of these problems, we cross over between being in the teens and being below 10. So 10 is the barrier that we're crossing over. We're crossing over from, across a significant barrier, and it's often where we make more mistakes, and that's why we need to practice these ones more. So let's go through. 13 minus 5 is 8. 16 minus 9 is 7. 15 minus 7 is 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. 14 minus 11 is 3. 12 minus 5 is 7. 17 minus 9 is 8. 14 minus 7 is 7. 13 minus 8 is 5. And 17 minus 8 is 9. If you missed any of those, if I went a little bit quick, just rewind the video and play it again, and then you can mark it for yourselves. So today we're looking at the third of the measurements, and that's mass. Our goals for today: understand the different units of mass and be able to convert mass between the different units. So if you're given one, you can change to the other, has been covered in the lessons on length and the lesson on capacity. Okay, so first up, I guess we need to understand and make sure we're all on the same page with what we mean by mass. Mass is actually what we generally incorrectly refer to as weight. So weight is mass times gravity. You don't need to know that, but for now, what I really want you to just do is to understand that when we talk about mass, you can think of it as the same thing as weight. So when I talk about the mass of a person, I'm talking about how much they weigh when you get on a scale. When I talk about the mass in a kit using a kitchen scale, it's like the mass of the flour you're using or the mass of whatever it is that you're using. So think of it as weight for now. I think that's probably easiest if we just keep it like that. Okay, we've done this with the other ones. It follows the same pattern. When it comes to mass, the only difference is instead of the liter or meter after the beginning of the words, it's now gram. So you can see the unit over here is gram, and it's kilogram, which I'm sure is familiar to all of you: hectogram, decagram, decigram, centigram, and milligram. I think we probably mostly use kilograms and grams, and occasionally you will see milligrams, but it's unlikely you will use the other ones. But for converting, it's best to know all of them so that you can convert between them quite easily. This one I've mostly seen on things like if you have a multivitamin, then it has milligrams on the back, or some medicines have milligrams on the back when they're talking about how much of a certain ingredient they have, how much of your daily allowance is in there. So I've used the same mnemonic, which is a sort of a sentence, if you like, where the first letter of each of the words is the important one to help us remember something. So I've just changed the middle word because all the rest will stay the same. So when we were looking at length, we had King Henry's daughters love delicious caramel muffins. When we looked at capacity, we had King Henry's daughters make delicious caramel muffins. And now that we're looking at mass, I thought we would just have King Henry's daughters gobble, or that should be gobble, not gobbles, gobble delicious caramel muffins. So first they like them or love them, then they make them, and then they gobble them. It's a silly way to remember it, but it works for me. If you have a different mnemonic, that's awesome. You can always make your own one up for these. In fact, mnemonics are great for helping you remember other things as well. I used a few when I was studying biology. It's great to remember all the various things. Okay, so kilograms, kg, hectograms, hg, decagrams, dl. It's the only one with a capital, and it's only capital because we've got another d as well. Grams, g, decigrams, dg, that's the small g, and that's why we have a d. Oh, this should be a g, not an l. I forgot to change that when I copied it across. So it's decagrams, not decaliters. And then down to centigrams, cg, and milligrams, mg. So let's practice some conversions. So looking at mass, and I think the first thing we need to do when we're looking at mass is to write down our different units so that we can know what we're doing. So I'm going to just write down the abbreviation, the unit in, so kg instead of writing out the word, kilograms, hectograms, decagrams, grams, decigrams, centigrams, and milligrams. All right, and knowing that the only real ones we're going to use, or we're going to convert between, are these three over there. So as we did in the lessons on the other two forms of measurement, we need to know how many groups we're going down, or how many groups we're changing. If we're going from a small unit to a big unit, we are taking the zeros away. And if we're going from a big unit down to a small unit, we are putting zeros on. All right. Maybe it seems a little bit like the opposite. You think if we're going to something bigger, we should add more, but it's a way of representing. So just careful that you don't mix up whether you're putting zeros on or taking off. So if we go from big to small, we put zeros on. If we go from small to big, we take the zeros away. So we're going to start with some over here. I'll move it up like that so that we can still see our table while we're doing it. Okay, so let's look at the first one. We're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. So we're going from here to here. So we are going to be taking zeros away. We are going 1, 2, 3 jumps. And so we are going to take away 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3. And we are left with a 1. So 1,000 grams is equal to 1 kilogram. In other words, there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram, which I hope you knew, but if you didn't, now you do. Right, so for the next one, we're going from grams to kilograms. It's the same, so it's also 3 jumps. We're going to take away 3 zeros, and we are left with 35. So the answer is 35 kilograms. These ones like this one over here, that's the sort of one where people make a mistake, and it's where you might think that your teacher is going to make you take away all the zeros every single time. So they throw in one of these where there's an extra 0. So again, we're going from grams to kilograms. It's again 1, 2, 3 jumps, which means we take away 3 zeros. But there is still going to be a 0 left in your answer. So 230. So 230,000 grams is equal to 230 kilograms. Having a look at the next one, we are going from, let's just clear off our table quickly. We are going from milligrams, which is down at the bottom, to grams. So that's 1, 2, 3. Again, we're moving up, so we're taking the zeros away. We're going to take away 3 zeros. We're left with 4. So 4,000 milligrams is equal to 4 grams. The next one is also 3 jumps. 1, 2, 3. Take away 3 zeros. We're left with 67 grams. Next one, again, it's the same jump. 1, 2, 3. Take away 3 zeros. We got 250. So you can see again, I've put in one where we didn't lose all of the zeros. For these ones, I've kind of kept it as a pattern, so you can see it's the same process 3 times in a row. When I give you the worksheet, it won't always be the same one in a row. So you've got to be careful to do it. So in fact, you can see that in this set here, we're going up every single time. So we're going to take away zeros for all of them. And you can guess that the other set that you can see there on the right next to my video is going to be going the other way. But when it comes to converting in the worksheet I give you, I'll be mixing them all up. So you need to be very careful to make sure that you're either putting on or taking away zeros, just so that you don't get confused. So we're going to do 3 sets. The first 2 sets, we're going to go the same way, and then the third set for practice, we're going to go one way or the other way. So we're now looking at this one down here. We're going from milligrams to kilograms. So milligrams at the bottom to kilograms at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jumps. We take away 6 zeros. And we're left with 1. So in other words, 1,000,000 milligrams is equal to 1 kilogram. For the next one, it's the same. It's also 6 jumps. So it's also going to be taking away 6 zeros. And we're left with 13 kilograms. So 13 million grams is equal to 13 kilograms. And for the final one, it's still going to be 6 jumps. So we're going to take away 6 zeros. And we're left with 140 kilograms. So 140 million milligrams is equal to 140 kilograms. All right, let's clear our list away. Oopsie. I'm also going to shift this up a little bit more. There we go. Oh, a little bit less. All right, now you can see all of them. Okay, so starting at the top one, we are going from kilograms to grams. So we're going down. So we're going to be putting zeros on. So that's three jumps. So we add 3 zeros on. So 5 kilograms is equal to 5,000 grams. 17, 1, 2, 3, 17 kilograms is equal to 17,000 grams. From kilograms down to grams again, 1, 2, 3. So I still write the 20, and then afterwards I put on 3 zeros, and I get 20,000 grams. For the next one, I'm now going from kilograms down to, I'm going from grams down to milligrams. 1, 2, 3, put on 3 zeros. For the next one, again, same one, from grams to milligrams. 1, 2, 3. So I write this number again, and then I put 3 zeros on the end. 56,000 grams. For 180, again, I'm going from grams to milligrams. 1, 2, 3. Oops, making a mess there. So I write 180, and then I put the 3 zeros on. So just be careful not to include that 0 that's part of the 180 as one of your 3 zeros. Right, going from kilograms down to milligrams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be 6 zeros I add on. So 3 kilograms is equal to 3 million milligrams. 64, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put 6 zeros on. 64. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 64 million milligrams. So 64 kilograms, 64 million milligrams. Wow, all these grams words is confusing my tongue. Right, again, the same jump. So I'm not going to draw my jumps. I can see that it's going to be 6. So I write 30 because it's there. And then after I've got that, I add on my 6 zeros. So making sure that we don't count that 0 as one of our 6 zeros. And we get 30 million milligrams. So 30 kilograms is equal to 30 million milligrams. Right, here comes your mixed exercise. Right, here in the middle under your list is, or are some for you to get going. There's 8 of them. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to try and get these right. And once we've done it, we'll go through and mark it, and you can see how well you've understood the conversions or how good you are at converting between them. Please be careful. I've put in a couple of little sneaky ones, so don't make a mistake. Just careful. Remember which way you're going. Remember whether you must put zeros on or take zeros away. Follow the rules and you should be good. I'm going to give you about a minute and a half, maybe a little bit less than that. Okay, go for it. All right, about 20 more seconds. All right, if you want any more time, you just pause the video, and when you're ready, you can start the video again. Okay, for the first one, we're going from grams to milligrams. So grams to milligrams, we're going down, so we're putting zeros on. We're going 3 jumps, so we add 3 zeros. That's pretty much what we've been doing. We've been practicing. Having a look at the next one, we're going from grams to kilograms. So grams to kilograms, that's going up. So we're taking zeros away. 1, 2, 3. We're going to take 3 zeros away. We're left with 4 kilograms. Right, again, fairly straightforward. Going from, for the third one, milligrams to grams. So oopsie, still on eraser. Milligrams to grams, it's going up. 1, 2, 3. We take away. Oh, that's a tough one. What are we going to do? I actually put this one in by mistake, but let me show you what we're going to do. All right, so we needed to take away 3 zeros. We've only got 1 that we can take away, so we're going to take away that one. And now instead of taking away the other 2 numbers, we're going to put a comma in front of it. So put a comma in front of the first one, and then we move the comma to in front of the second one. So we actually get 0,130. I would not expect a grade 4 to be able to do that. That was me putting in a number when I wasn't thinking about it very clearly. So if you got that one right, very well done to you. And if you didn't get it right, please don't stress, because it's not the sort of thing that you'll need to be able to do in grade 4. Okay, let's look at the next one. I hope I didn't make a mistake with this number. All right, so we are going from kilograms to grams. So kilograms to grams, 3 jumps, we're putting zeros on. All right, now this is one of the ones where I was being a little bit sneaky, because sometimes our brain sees these zeros here and think, oh, there's the zeros we can take away. but actually we need to be putting zeros on. So it's 20,000, and then we add another 3 zeros on. So please be careful not to make those mistakes. That's what I was warning you about with those little tricks that I might put in, and your teachers, if they like to get you to think, will do the same sort of thing. So now we're going from grams to milligrams. Again, we're going 1, 2, 3 down. Again, we're adding on, and again, I've been a little bit naughty and put the zeros there, so it looks like you might be taking the zeros away. But in fact, those zeros stay there, and then we add another 3 zeros. I will include a couple of these kind in your worksheet. I will not include some of those. That was just me making a little mistake. Right, okay, so kilograms to grams, 1, 2, 3. Again, we're putting zeros on. So again, it's one of those ones where it looks like you're going to take zeros away, but actually you're not. You're putting zeros on. I'm hammering this point home because it's the sort of area where people trip up, because once you've understood this, it's fairly straightforward. So you've got to watch out for those little tricks. Okay, so we've got 13 million milligrams, and we want to go to kilograms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 jumps, taking away 6 zeros, and we're left with 13 kilograms. This is the other kind of trick, the last one. It's not a super trick, but this time we are going from milligrams to grams, and I've deliberately put far too many zeros in case you got caught and crossed out all of them. But we've only done 3 jumps, so you only need to take away 3 zeros, and then you're left with 34,000 grams. So you see what I mean about those tricks to watch out for? I hope that you only struggled with the third one, the one that I put in by mistake. All right. So once you get to grade 6 and you've worked with decimals a little bit, then this kind of one will be, it's a continuation of what we're doing with taking away zeros and adding zeros on. In fact, I'm going to quickly move this up and just elaborate on that a little bit so anyone who's feeling advanced in maths can pick this up. So I might ask you how old you are in grade 4, and you might tell me that you're 10. And I might say, oh, you are 10 years old, or 10 years old. And all that means is that in your 10 years, you have no hundreds and you have no thousands, which is true. It's just really silly for us to actually write these things in the front, so we leave them off. Anyway, I'm going to leave them on for a moment. I can also put zeros afterwards as long as I've got a comma over there. So this is still 10, 110, and no units, and that's your age. And I'm not actually changing anything. If I put zeros after the comma or zeros in front, it's still 10. It's just a very long way of writing 10. And when it comes to adding the zeros on, so let's say that this was, we're going to, instead of grams, we're going to use your age as, let's say, grams, because we're looking at weight today, so 10 grams. And if we wanted to make that into milligrams, we were putting zeros on, and we would put 3 zeros because it's 3 jumps. 1, 2, 3. It's the same as if we moved this comma up. So we could then say that 10 grams is equal to 10,000 milligrams. Right, and if we wanted to go the other way, we would move the comma the other way. It's a little bit advanced for your understanding because you haven't done decimals yet, unless your school is pushing you so that you have done decimals already. But the point is that it does, what we've been doing does expand to allow us to work with decimals when we've done it. So that's quite a neat trick. Right, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Now that we've done the 3 various measurements, I hope that this has become a little bit more clear now that we've covered it. I hope that, I guess the most important thing is you have to remember your mnemonic, which is your King Henry's daughters, blah, blah, blah. And if you can remember that, then I would suggest you jot that down on the side of the page whenever you get something that's to do with converting measurements, whether that's mass, which we've done today, or one of the others which we've done, which is length and capacity. If you just jot that down, you look which way we're going, you check whether we're putting zeros on or taking zeros away, then you're never going to have a problem with measurements and converting measurements again. Grade 4s, it's lovely to have you with me again. I'll see you again for another lesson soon. Goodbye.